The best LEGO Marvel TV show of the year is in fact Moon Knight. So it is that time where we say the top LEGO sets that should be made from this Marvel series. Now, getting into it, Moon Knight definitely tops the Marvel series I watched this year. And I haven't watched Ms. Marvel or She-Hulk yet, so that's why those videos are not out. But what sets do I want to see? Starting off with a relatively light one, Mark's apartment. I think his apartment's actually really interesting, all of the Egyptian mythology he has there in his books, in his works, and all this stuff that really, he's been like a made up character and he isn't actually real. Mark's apartment is there, and I think his bed would be a good addition. Hey, maybe a funny little phone he has with him, which has his mum's caller ID which fails. That would be a great addition, and I think this should be a relatively small set, retailing for maybe $25.99. I think that could go down quite well. I think out of everything about Mark, I think his apartment would go down really well. It's like a cool fun set. I think very similar to Thor's apartment, you could do something very similar, like that sort of modular design for Mark, and you could even have a little corner with all of Steve's stuff, like his phone and all of that stuff as well. So I definitely would choose Mark's apartment as the first set to be picked. Now, next up, if you want to go more with Mark, I would say the museum. Now, this could contain Mark, the security guard who kind of like checks the cameras and sees that Mark has literally just been running around, not being chased by anyone, and Arthur Harrow, obviously the main villain that we do have here. I think those three together would make a very interesting set. Now, I think it should be a really small set, maybe mainly focused on the figures, and maybe like one of the enemies who was chasing Mark through it as well. But you don't need a massive museum set, so I think retailing for $15.99, a small set, focusing on those characters. I know maybe 3 or 4 LEGO characters probably isn't going to fit in a $15.99 set, but I think that maybe $19.99 maybe is relatively enough. I don't think you need to focus directly on the museum build. I think you need to focus on the characters if you're going to do like that museum scene that we see, and I think episodes 1 or 2, they would be a great idea, because Mark is just one of the funniest parts of LEGO, of Moon Knight, and in LEGO I think you definitely got to capture that as well if these sets were ever going to happen, which it doesn't look like they are. Definitely I would choose Mark's apartment and the museum. Now, I would also do a lot of Egyptian builds now inside the Egyptian pyramids with the gods like Horus, when they're talking to Khonshu, could be a good idea. But I'm going to pick out the Egyptian maze, where they're like, I can't remember what they exactly are searching for. I think it's the location of Amit, where you've got Layla in there, which I think would be a really good addition. I think this is the only set I could really pin down to get her in, unless you like, put her in the final battle as well. Again, Arthur Harrow, he's a really major part there. You could have like maybe like, like one of those generic enemies you kind of get in LEGO as well. And Steve, so different facial expressions, a different look, maybe a different style, because he's kind of like a lot more, not bitter, but a lot more angry, a lot more impressive than Mark is a lot of the time. A lot more impressive, yeah, I think that's definitely the word. But I think a massive one like that, chasing away from enemies, and I would quite like a little maze thing, so maybe you could like close it up, have it quite tall in the pyramid, and then it opens up and actually goes into a maze room. And obviously the room where Steve thinks that he does get shot as well would be the one there. So I definitely think that him getting shot definitely has to be in this. I think, no, I don't know why I keep saying Steve, it's Steven. It should definitely be in there as well. So yeah, definitely that. And actually wait, I've completely got this wrong. I think Steven the original, isn't he? And then obviously there's Mark as well. I can't quite remember which ones the different ones. It's all very confusing. Yeah, definitely a set with that as well. I also really like the Rolls-Royce ending scene that has Khonshu and I think Arthur Harrow, the main villain, obviously gets killed in that as well from a mystery Moon Knight, not Steve or Mark, a complete mystery, Stephen or Mark, so a complete mystery for any of them to see. I think that's really, really interesting. I think of a Lego Rolls-Royce as just something cool anyway, that you could just include in it if you wanted to. So I definitely think they should be including a Rolls-Royce ending scene with Khonshu, Mystery and Alpha Harrow. I'll probably place that around $29.99. Vehicles in Lego, if they get made, we all know that they are very expensive, or not even that, just like very, like, you know, whenever they're made, they kind of bring out the price on the set, especially for something like Lego Marvel, which I'd probably say is the second most expensive trademark they've got behind Star Wars. So definitely would include a Rolls-Royce ending scene. Now, the second to last set I've got here is the Mental Institution. Obviously, that would have Stephen, Mark, and the Elephant Goddess. Again, I can't quite remember her name, so don't shoot me in the comments. But yeah, the boat or whatever, that sort of thing, flying through the sand, and then going back in time to all their memories. That could actually be a really cool set. You could have different doorways, a like sort of boat vehicle thing with the sand, with that really emotional scene between the two, and the different doorways into their memories would be a perfect set to do. I think this should be an expensive set. Now I've put down here $79.99. I actually would maybe go that a bit higher to $99.99 or even above that, if they can perfectly capture that whole episode of episode 5 of Moon Knight into one scene, because I think it would be really, really cool to see in this set. So definitely, yeah, the Mental Institution between them could be a play where we could see all of them together in a set, especially Stephen and Mark, and we could get them as well. So yeah, I think, yeah, Mark is, sorry, it's not Mark's apartment, it's Stephen's apartment, and Stephen at the museum as well. Now, the final set that I have written down here is the ending battle. Now, obviously you have Moon Knight versus Arthur Harrow, that could easily be incorporated, but that's not what I would really want the set to focus on. I think those two should be characters in the set, but I do think that Khonshu versus Amit, built in Lego form, fighting against each other with maybe like a pyramid in between them, or not even that, just them two fighting against each other, would make for a really, really cool set. And you could easily make that out of Lego, similar to Groot, similar to lots of other stuff we've had, like the Eternals one. Easy to make. I think that should be a no-brainer. I mean, I would pay $79.99 for that if it actually is decent. Now, I don't think that Lego are planning to do any Lego Moon Knight sets, but it is a bit annoying. They only seem to do the characters in the Lego character packs, but they don't seem to actually want to do any Lego Moon Knight, which I've got to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed that they kind of ignore the TV shows. I think they're probably the best things to do. So yeah, the final thing I just want to say is for the Lego sets, we came Mark's apartment, the museum, the Egyptian maze inside the pyramids, the Rolls-Royce ending scene. I don't even know if it's a Rolls-Royce, I'm just going to call it a Rolls-Royce. The Mental Institution is by far my favourite of my set ideas, and the ending battle between Khonshu versus Amit. Those are my set ideas for Lego Moon Knight. Now let me know what you guys would think of this. I know, like, I've had some very outspoken opinions saying that Moon Knight is my favourite Lego or my favourite Disney Plus Marvel series. I haven't seen She-Hulk or Miss Marvel, but I doubt they're going to be able to top that and top WandaVision and all of these stuff. So yeah, out of, maybe if you're interested, out of all of the Lego ones I've done I think up to this one, so Lego Loki, Lego Hawkeye. I don't know if I did a video on that one, but definitely one of the most impressive ones here, and I hope you guys do agree with my opinions on that as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think that Moon Knight does deserve to be here as well. So thank you guys for watching another Lego Actors video. I will see you in the next one, and peace.